Hey guys, what is going on? Before we start, I want to give a huge shout out to Little Filbert and Elaine Walls for joining Intelligent Counterspell as members of the channel in the Argentina style level. Thanks for the support, dudes. What is going on, guys? We are back with another DSP video, and we start off with the pre-stream. This is from Hate Army. For reals though, DSP should hang himself and take Dentboxer with him. So this is DSP and Dentboxer in his chat talking about Piece of Peace beating him in Street Fighter. So we have DSP. I likely beat my haters on the regular, considering how we now know they swap names to keep getting games. Of course, he's talking about fighting the detractors in Street Fighter 6. Just gonna block them from now on. He's not even gonna fight them. As soon as he sees a name, block. Ban, 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 ban. Gone. Forever. Then we have Dentboxer. That restreamer that always tells DSP to hang himself, and yet he constantly loses DSP when stream sniping, despite watching hundreds of hours of his gameplay. That is not true. Piece of Peace or Pop always beats Phil like 90% of the time. Dentboxer. Dude should take his own advice. He's talking about unliving himself. And then DSP follows that up with, that's because they're a scrub at Dentboxer, LOL. For reals though, I have no idea who you're talking about. I don't follow it. Even though you just said you know the trolls rotate names out and you're gonna block them. So you're gonna block people you don't know about? None of that makes sense, Phil. DSP. I would argue that it was the Balrog player in versions of Super Turbo who was the best I've faced. Was it Evil AJ? Whomever they were, getting down mid-level strats that work online. No, giving these idiots attention is the exact opposite of how I want to operate my business. Even though you're doing it right now, Phil. You're giving them attention by talking about them. We got Fox Mulder. DSP Gaming, who are you talking about? I don't understand the fighting game community. And then everyone keeps asking for a viewers night. His viewers want to play with Phil, but Phil refuses because of the trolls. So DSP says, this is also why they all demand viewer night, because they just want to flood the room. Then we have this from Phil Callens. DSP, former 4th place champion, infamous Street Fighter 6 rage quitter, is afraid of ranked match and losing to haters. He went on this huge rant talking about how he doesn't need to play ranked matches. Casual matches with players he's good at, such as Blanca, E Honda, Lily, that should be good enough, and people should support that. And people kept pushing back saying they want to see you in rank, they want to see the risk of you moving up or down. And this is how DSP responded. So we have Megan. Catching up on the Street Fighter 6 gameplay from last night, I can't wait till we get back to ranked. It's missing that element that something is on the line to play for. And we got Fox Mulder. Megan, Street Fighter doesn't do anything for me anymore. And we have Megan who responds to that. That's a shame. It's a staple of the Dark Side Phil channel. When we have no Street Fighter, it doesn't feel the same. Which Fox responds with, Megan, I'm getting tired of fighting games. And DSP had to chime in. You are fooling yourself with ranked. I'll be facing the exact same people I'm facing in casual matches. They are all at master level now. Even the awful players, LOL. I will not be playing often enough in ranked to get past the base level of entry. So I won't be facing anyone good. You are just living in a fantasy world. That is right. DSP told someone else they're living in a fantasy world. And then Megan responds with, how am I fooling myself? It's more entertaining for me to watch ranked when rankings are on the line. DSP, nothing is on the line. The rankings mean nothing when I'm playing so little. People actually into ranking up play the game daily for hours. And then Megan responds with, you should run a poll to see if ranking is more fun to watch or casual. But I bet 80% agree that rank is more fun. And we have King Gogan, who I'm not going to read because fuck him. Then DSP went on a huge rant about how this is the 10th year anniversary of him moving to Washington. He then described it as the start of being an adult, and everything else was a prelude to it. Now keep in mind, if he's 42 and it was 10 years ago, that means he was 32 and he didn't consider himself an adult. To me, he's still not an adult, but that's a different story. We have Gout Gout. We spent around the final 10 minutes of the podcast of DSP trying to convince his chat that he didn't become an adult and matured until he moved to Washington. Here's just a portion of it.
When the time in life that you will mature the most is when you're faced with the strongest adversity you've ever faced and getting through it and handling it, right? That's really shows like the mettle of a person, and that's when the true person will you're either going to mature and learn from mistakes and hardships and get through them and come out that end a better person, or you're going to crumble and fall apart. It's one or the other, right? And for me, I really feel like this last decade, right, has been a test, but I've come out of that decade a much better person, a much better content creator. Everything around here is just much better. And it might not have turned out that way, right? It could have been the opposite. It could have been I turned into a big fucking mess, a drama queen piece of shit, just being like all the other drama queen piece of shits on the internet who just constantly have to be immersed in this drama culture in order to make a living. And it very well could have gone that way for me, and it didn't, and I'm happy it didn't. I feel like for as many missteps as I made those first few years that I lived here, then I had that epiphany and a turnaround, and you know, these last many years have been much better for me, thankfully, right? But yeah, you know, coming up on my 10-year anniversary living here, it's like, dude, this is where my real adult life began. The moment I moved here into this home and things changed for me in my life, this is where my life really began. Before, everything else was just kind of like the precursor to my real life here. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel. I feel like the last 10 years are the first 10 real adult years of my life, which is weird because I should have been an adult when I was 18, but I don't feel like the adult life started till I moved in here. And then it was just like hardship, difficulty, setback, problem. And I just had to constantly keep dealing with those over and over. You know what I mean? Do I miss living in my old place? Absolutely not. I hated that place. Seriously.
Of course, DSP has never had hardship. He's never had anything to overcome because mommy and daddy pay for everything. He begs his dents for money. And at 42 years old, he's still not an adult. And so DSP had his birthday bash, which was absolutely horrible. Now, he wants to do either a fight in Fiesta or a Rageathon. So we have this from In an Otter Place. DSP wants to do a Rageathon of games that make him angry. He wants people to suggest games that will. Pretty much any game you played in the past 12 months seems to tick that box, Phil. The only way DSP is going to rage if the tips are low. He's going to laugh everything off and it's going to be a complete failure just like every single event he does. Or it will be manufactured fake rage, which we see a lot from him. Next up, we've had 2 streams of Helldivers 2, and guess what? He has wage quit it. He obviously had a whale lined up for the first stream, otherwise he would never play it. Because remember, it's a meme game. He doesn't play memes like everybody else and then drop it after a few streams. Oh wait, he just did. Same thing with Pal World. Remember? When he started up Pal World, he said, oh, everyone's playing this, so I should play it. Maybe I'll get some extra views on the channel. But remember, he doesn't do that. Fucking idiot, Phil. And then, when the tips were low, when support was low, when views were low, guess whose fault it was? It was the viewers, because they forced him to buy this game and play it. They forced him. He didn't want to do it. They forced him to play. So this is from Gout. DSP says viewers and support are down for Helldivers 2 and doesn't work for your content and blame it his chat. And then his fans push back. His viewers, I should say. So we have Mariah here. And anytime it's a woman's name, it's probably OIC. At DSP Gaming, Helldivers isn't made for meme YouTubers. It's made for people with friends which you don't have. It's for bros to blow stuff up together. Your only bro is a cat. Then we have Megan. Remember Megan from the Street Fighter talk? At DSP Gaming, Baldur's Gate 3, Pal World, Helldivers 2, Final Fantasy 7. All the biggest games are not working on your channel. Then maybe the problem isn't the games. You know what DSP did? Ban. Gone. Forever. You can't have that kind of talk in the cult. Then DSP did his stupid DSPN, who by the way, the originator of the term DSPN is Lord Diaz. Just saying. Better get your royalties there, pimp. So he then went on to slander EA and Ubisoft and all the leaders and the people in charge, saying they all should be fired. And then we have this quote from Len the Deranged. Burnell Production CEO Darkside Phil blames his audience for his business not performing well, just like Palworld, Helldivers 2, Alone in the Dark. A few minutes later, he says businesses blame their customers for their failings. And then with the news of O.J. Simpson dying, there was a DSP tweet that got resurfaced. So this is from 2016. Watching The People vs. O.J. Simpson, and damn, everyone in this case was dragged through the dirt, just like I've been. Crazy parallels here. Well, Phil, the only thing you killed was your own career. Then we have this during gameplay. It was a mind-blowing moment. It was so surreal. I didn't think it was happening. I thought it was like drunk or high or something. But DSP, in his own way, admitted that even if he was a racist back in the day, even if he spent all the money on mobile games that the detractors make memes on, it's not that bad. Like we say in the DSP verse, give him enough time and you'll find out the truth. So we have this from Poems Future. DSP basically confirming the documentary was made to be a puff piece that made him out to be not that bad of a guy.
First super chat of the night from Big Boss. When you were deciding to make the documentary, were there any preliminary questions that got you to remember being good, interesting, or new? See, here's the thing. Like, there's nothing that I'm going to say or do that I think would be super interesting. It's more about the angle. And essentially, this documentary that was going to be made about me, I already said all this publicly, by the way. This is no new information. But the documentary was going to attack it from the angle of, well, here's everything everyone says about Phil. Here's all the reasons people hate Phil, right? But in reality, are any of these even that bad? Even if they all were true, all right? Let's assume everything's true that everyone ever said about Phil. Is any of it really that bad that people should really be, like, hating him so much and wishing him harm and doing the things they've done to him and his family members and all of that, right? And, you know, going through all of that, saying, look at all this stuff that happened to Phil, and analyzing it in that perspective, like, what's really going on that people hate Phil so much? Like, what is the reason? And it was gonna basically look at it from, like, that perspective, which would have been a new one, because most people have never attacked it. It's just, oh, here's all the things people hate Phil for. Are they true or not? Instead of, well, you know what? Whether or not they're true or not, maybe it doesn't even matter, right? Perhaps people should just stop being fucking insane about all this bullshit. Even if it was true, who cares? None of it matters when it comes to him or his content or anything. You know what I'm saying? And there's going to be many parts to the documentary that were going to be unique and different, and I'm not going to spoil those because who knows, right? I'm not going to spoil all the ideas we had because we had many different ideas of ways we could attack things and funny, entertaining segments and things regarding the various different things that I'm accused of and shit like that. Okay, but in essence, I think that's the truth of the matter, is that the things that people accuse me of or are so angry about aren't actually that bad, even if they were all true, which, by the way, are not, right? But even if you don't believe me and you think that everything that's ever been said about me is true, it's not nearly as bad as half the people out there, right? It's like, wow, damn, why do people hate Phil so much? Like, what exactly is going on that people hate him so much? Doesn't seem to make much sense. In which case, that's correct. It doesn't. It's just basically people going crazy, over-obsessing, or running with a meme to hate me, rather than it being about, wow, I really hate this guy because he did awful things that are deserving of this level of awful hate. You know, it's a very different situation. Like, some of the other people out there that are considered LOLCOWs or people get harassed all the time on the internet, man, some of the things they've said and did is like, wow, unforgivable, can't believe it. And I mean, it's like, really, that's all Phil ever said? That's it? That's the reason people hate him? But again, I feel like it's just the meme. The meme is overpowering to the point where, like, you can't stop the meme. The meme has become bigger than the truth, right? Like, honestly, really, let's say, for example, You look at all the things said about me, that I used to be a racist and say horrible things in my commentary, which I don't anymore, but I used to, let's even say I used to be a racist, which I wasn't. But let's say it was true. Let's say I spent ridiculous amounts of money on mobile games and didn't tell anyone, right? Let's say, what's the other ridiculous one? Because there's like 3 or 4 big ones, right? Let's say they're all true. Every single one of them. Are any of those a big deal? Right? In reality, it's funny because you have people who've done entire documentaries about me, like Turkey Tom. And literally at the end of the negative documentary he makes, he says, but Phil, I don't even get it because Phil's kind of boring. I don't get the big deal. He's right. Like, he's literally 100% right. There's nothing super interesting about the hate against me besides that it exists. I think more fascinating than whether the hate is warranted or real would be, why are people so obsessed with it, right? Like, what has caused this level of obsession, right? That's what I would love to hear. People study the people who hate me. Like, why on earth are they so obsessed with me? Out of all the things I've said and done, what is it that triggered them that they want to fucking hurt me and my family and do weird shit? It's just fucking bizarre, and it's out of hand, right? And that's the thing, like, the whole idea of entertaining the hate against me, like, let's have people come on camera and talk about the hate and why they hate me and what I've done over the years that's warrant that they don't really like, right? But then, at the end of the day, analyze it from the perspective of what is really going on here that, you know, that got to the level of meaning, right? I think that would have been incredible. And again, there were some other fun things we were going to do, some ideas we had that obviously, you know, we're not doing now at this point anyway. That I think people would have really liked with this documentary. Again, different perspectives. People who are going to be there from my past, they talk about me and their interactions with me in the past that you've never seen before. Like, that was going to be some of the appeal of it.
So this also proves that he watched the documentary by Turkey Tom. I love how at the start he's like, well, yeah, I've done bad stuff, but look at all the other cows. They've done worse than me. Just because someone's done worse than you doesn't mean you haven't done anything bad, Phil. That's like saying, oh, I robbed the bank. It's no big deal. That person over there killed somebody. Like, they're both still bad things to do, Phil. And that confirms that Mike Clone was talking to detractors. Remember, he was also talking to people from Scopely. And then all of a sudden, DSP quit the interview. Funny how that is, isn't it, Phil? Then DSP went on to say, DSP's game forte is horror games, soul games, and fighting games. He doesn't play or hype big releases. Those don't work for him. He needs narrative-driven games that he feels engaged in. Yeah, because he's never hyped up AAA games before. Man, imagine all the games he did not hype up in the past year. You know, Final Fantasy VII, Dragon's Dogma, Like a Dragon, Starfield, Alan Wake 2. You know, he's never hyped those games up before. And then Alone in the Dark was finally a night stream, where they should be. However, games that go to the night stream is where games go to die. And we have this from Duty. Hey June the King, I hope you decide to include in the documentary unrecorded DSP segments like this gem.
Guys, I have to pee, so I am going to go pee. Now listen up. Please, tonight, if you like my content, please support the stream. Doesn't even matter if particularly you like this game, please support the stream. This is my final stream of the week. It would be great to have it be a good one. Right now, I have $3, and they're all from Kirk. That's it. Literally nothing. No memberships, no gifted memberships, no super chats, just $3 from Kirk. So, there's lots of you here. Alright? It would be great if you like the content, if you could support it. I'm only doing a few streams of this to wrap it up through the second half. We're almost done, actually. I think right now we're more than halfway through my first run. Whereas we get to Chapter 4, we're in the home stretch. So, and I think we're going to get to Chapter 4 tonight, actually. So, please support it. I'll be right back. I just got to use the bathroom.
And also that break sign, that was not photoshopped in. That was not an effect by Dark Dave's Mirror. That's actually Phil's new "Be Right Back" on break sign that one of his editors stole from somebody else. And then in the last video, there's a video of Phil sharding on stream, and people decided to have fun with it. However, do not give him money, that's all I'll say. We have Poopy Pajamas. Speaking of viral shits on the internet, you gotta stop pooping yourself on camera. And imagine if you leaned while doing it. Truly would be toxic. Then we have DSP sharts it. If I ate cat's cooking, I'd shart myself too. And this is a throwback from Meow Blocked. I'll never get tired of posting this video. DSP explains microwaves.
It just long enough to where there's bubbles forming, but it's yet to boil. It doesn't even give you an estimate of how long to expect this to take, so I guess I'll just do it in 30-second increments.
Oh, no one told him how microwave works? That won't work. You can't do it in 30-second increments. You start the microwave over, you start the process over.
What the? I don't see bubbles.
The problem with approximate microwave readings is that you can't do a microwave approximately. You need to know exactly how long to cook something. The way a microwave works is by stirring up those molecules to create heat. If you turn the microwave off and turn it on again, it's not like, oh, the oven was already 350, so I'm just going to continue to bake it at 350. That's not how it works. You have to re-stir up the molecules again. So if you do 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, you'll never get it to what you want. You need to actually have it going for the amount of time you need it to go. So by not having the reading on this product of how long to have the microwave on, you literally make the product completely worthless. You need to know how long to do it.
Honestly, I feel...
Now I wonder if Kat explained to him how microwaves work, because you know, she's the expert. That's how all the dinners are made. So hope you guys like that. Click that like, share the video, leave a comment below, hit subscribe my other channels on the details of the end cards. And as always, I love each and every one of you. Hope you're all safe, healthy, and happy. Peace and love.